Morning and welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS with Bob Pace, your host, and hang on to your children. Yes, I did mention the word CPS. To a lot of you, including myself, it's been a horrible, horrible time dealing with a government entity that has gone rogue in a lot of places. Now, I'm saying CPS is not bad. There are good and bad. And I believe that the majority are good. I don't know, it's a 50-50 affair, but I've been doing this live stream for over 18 months. I started in October of 83, and I'm on every day, 14 times a week. I'm on Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., except on the weekends I'm on at 8 a.m. Those are all Pacific Standard Times. In the evening, it's 7 times a week at 7 p.m. 7 times a week at 7 p.m. Excuse me. It's early on the weekend. I try to go to church on Sunday. I believe in God, and He gives me strength. And my faith in Him has helped me through these hard times, difficult times, dealing with the entity that I call the Child Protection System. It's government entities in every county, every state, and worldwide. Yes, this live stream is worldwide. I've talked to 22 countries, all 50 states, including the District of Columbia. These countries have gone from Indonesia to Bangladesh to India to the Middle East to Saudi Arabia and Libya, then over to Africa, to Liberia, to Sudan, to one of the newest countries is the Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and the country of South Africa, 2 of the provinces there. Then up to Europe, it's England, Scotland, Wales, and Denmark and Sweden. Across the pond, it's North America, it's 4 provinces in Canada. Again, it's the United States, all 50 states, including the District of Columbia. Then south of the border and Mexico, then down to South America, north of Brazil, on the East Coast, Grenada, then across the South Pacific to New Zealand, and then to the land down under Australia, and it's 2 states. There's a lot of people. It's about over 1,500 people I've spoken to. They come from all walks of life. Most of them, including myself, have something common. They're going through hard times, maybe a separation or a divorce, or lost a home through natural disasters, loss of a job, in my case, where you went from a comfortable lifestyle to 0 income, and all you had was your savings you put away for a rainy day. That didn't last me long. It only lasted me about 6 years. And then I was forced to sell my house to hire the important thing, and I'm glad I did, is an attorney to fight CPS. I hired Vincent W. Davis. He's a great attorney. He will fight for your case. Many that come on my show are using him. And I strongly recommend, my rule number 1 is you have an attorney to fight CPS because it's like open heart surgery. You need someone qualified and trained in dealing with the child protection system. The CPS system, a lot of them are corrupt. And the attorneys are powerful and strong. The problem is, this agency has no accountability. There's no one watchdogging the organization. They freely go into people's homes, They know all the tricks of the trades. They talk to you. They do all these things that are no. You don't talk to social workers. You don't talk to the police. What I mean by no talking to them, you say you need to have your attorney present. If it's a legal matter, your constitution rights allow you to have representation through all legal proceedings. That's very important to know. If I knew that, I would never blab my mouth. I would never let them in my home. I'd never let them take my children. But like a fool, I thought they were honest. I thought they were there to help out the family, especially the family is going through hard times. Now, in 1962, CPS was born in what it is today. And they divide the history into 3 parts. And I want to say Happy Easter to Happy Feet. Thank you. This is a special time. The Son of God, Jesus Christ, has risen. And Spice, my doggie, good to see you. I'm sorry it's mostly bad, but you have to look at the good things. There's got to be good things. Today is Sunday. It's a day that we celebrate the rise of Christ, the Son of God. And I'm so glad that I've met you guys. Spice, my doggie, Happy Feet, the Minecraft team. Well, you're new. I don't know you yet, but I'm glad and warmly welcome to my room. Okay, Happy Feet, we have good news and bad news. CPS is still not complying with the Indian Child Welfare Act, ICWA, and pressing to severe our rights. What's the good news? That's all bad news, Happy Feet. I know the loss to your daughter is hard at Easter. Easter is a time when you have your children and you do the egg hunts and the Easter baskets, and you give them loaded of fun things. It is a family day, and my family, well, what's left of my family, got together last night, went to the Virgil Mass at the Lady Queen of Angels in Newport Beach. And it's a beautiful service, beautiful church. It was 3 hours long. I've never been to the one on Saturday. But it was done good. It was done good. Here's the good news. Happy Feet says our oldest daughter, who is 18, came home to us this weekend. We got to spend a holiday finally with one of her babies. She's here now and says hello. Hello. And, yes, when the children turn 18, they can go home to their mom and dad. My son did the same thing. We were fighting. We were fighting 8 years with CPS. I've been fighting them for 15. My first 5 years were spent with harassment by CPS because a layperson that was reporting false allegations to CPS, and they were investigating all of them. And it was like a weekly affair. Every week I'd meet with CPS. And this went on for 5 years, the harassment. My in-laws were the culprits. I did not know that too well after my case was over. But they would call in my wife's mother, father, 3 sisters, and a brother, take turns once a week and say, oh dear, the Pace family is doing something wrong with their children. They weren't feeding the children. They weren't housing the children. They weren't paying the utility bills. They weren't taking them to school. Well, I refuted all that. I showed their grade reports, One child was in private school, private high school. The other child was in middle school. And the youngest child was in elementary school. Now, I have 6 children I've helped raise, and my 3 oldest luckily escaped this harassment by CPS. They're grown up, they have family, and they're doing well. So that tells something about me as a kind of father I am to raise 3 productive children to society that are married and they do well and they're not in trouble. Well, oh yeah, CPS is definitely tries to make a molehill out of nothing. They lie, they cheat, they also do retaliation. They hurt, they're mean to elder people, to senior people, to moms and dads, and they're just mean. Now, I'm speaking about one entity, the entity I know firsthand is the Orange County Children Protection Services in California. From the director all the way to the bottom, they're corrupt. They are corrupt. And you will find agencies you don't know. The problem with CPS is that we don't have the knowledge about them or what they are. That's something that should have presented in life skills early on. I'm an advocate of life skills. I think life skills should be presented to everybody through education. When you start off in preschool and you go to prepping kindergarten and then grades 1 through 5 in elementary school, and then grades 6 through 8 in middle school, and then 9 through 12 in high school. Then if you go on to college, or if you go on to a master's or doctorates, every time you're in school, you should be taking a class in life skills. Now, what I mean by life skills are a lot of things. Early on in your preschool, you learn not to talk to strangers, and you learn about bullying, and you learn how to be nice to one another. As you grow older, you learn about other things there too. That young people, it's like how to respect your parents, and you learn really good things. In middle school, you're starting to learn sexual, so you need to have some background in that. Also, in high school, you're starting to date, and you need to learn about dating. You should also be exposed to what CPS is when you're a small child and as you get older, because you may encounter it. Heaven forbid that one of you parents get tangled with CPS. They can be quite awful. I'm sure the people in my room can testify that. I have a group of regulars, 20 to 30 people that come into my room twice a day with me. And they tell me about the horrific things that they're going through. Here's Happy Feet that finally gets to see her daughter at 18. It's so sad how they take advantage of people that don't have they have limited income, because it takes a lot of money to fight CPS. It isn't free. A good attorney isn't free, just like a good doctor in open heart surgery. I know there are legal things you can get, you can pay, and so forth. And that's good. That is good. That is good. Um, I'm here to help you, to relate what I went through to so you don't make the same mistakes. So you don't make the same mistakes. I keep reliving my case through this live stream, and it's hard. What's left of my family, I'm down to only 2 boys that still live with me. and my wife. Over 41 years of marriage experience and 60 years of life skills. Uh, Now, all you stop talking a bit. Here, let me put my scroller down. Okay. Your son is home at 19. Well, yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. A lot of kids have to live at home because it's so expensive. And Spice says hi again and hi and hallelujah. We're fighting a termination of parental rights. Okay. You guys still fight that. Don't let them take that away. Good morning and happy Easter, Christina Renoza. Is Easter pagan? No, no. Easter's not a pagan ritual. Easter is two parts. There's one part that's the celebration of the rise of Jesus Christ. That's not pagan. The second part is the part fun with the children. Now we have someone coming in, so I'm going to answer it here. Okay. Good morning and welcome to my live stream. This is Bob Pace. How can I help you?
Yes, hi, Bob. This is Tiffany LeGrand. I'm calling out of Westchester County, New York, and I have a couple of questions that they could be answered. How to go about an indicated case that I was indicated, and it was overturned by a CPS judge to be unfounded. But I could lead to have that same problem every year. So I'm at my fifth overturned, and the fifth one needs to go to Supreme Court because it wasn't overturned by a CPS judge. So I'm trying to see how can I to do that.
Sure. What county are you in New York?
Westchester County.
Westchester County. And what's the nearest big city there?
New York State.
New York City?
New York City. I'm sorry, New York City.
Yeah. Okay. So you're near. Have you heard of K.K. Richardson, Akima Richardson?
No.
She's from Brooklyn, New York. She's on my show from time to time, and she has her own live stream on Mondays at 5:00 Eastern time. And she is an attorney. She went back to school and got a law degree, and she's trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, which is the areas of law that your attorney should be in. Because criminal law will not help you. Immigration law won't help you. Real estate, divorce, all those. You need juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Now, you're dealing with a very bad state because I also have another person from Otago, New York. There's about 10 of you from New York that talk to me on my show. And so I'm glad that you called. And have you heard me before? Or how did you find me?
Yes, we've been following this page for quite a while now.
Okay.
And when it first started with, they had wanted to interview us, but once again, like I said, we've been dealing with CPS since 2021, and it's still going on. And they took our kids, all three of them. First, they started with one. Now they got the two girls, and they have falsified evidence. They got the judges to write order protections. We don't know where our kids are. We don't have no communication with them. And it's just no one is helping us. We have all our paperwork from the state central registry on what happened, who was the callers. The interviews with the kids, they stated that they want to come home to mom and dad, but they continuously to falsify evidence to keep our children in child foster.
Okay. Have you retained a lawyer, a professional lawyer trained, or are you trying to use a court-appointed or a public defender?
No one will take this case. No one. I had about 7 to 8 lawyers. I had 2 paid lawyers, and right now I don't have any attorney. I haven't had no trial. I did get a discovery, but its discovery is the same thing as the court narrator. You understand? But no one is picking up my case. The judge appointed to attorney, but no one is picking up my case. I'm supposed to have trial the 25th of this month, but no attorney has reached out to me. And also my husband's involved. His attorney quit on him and stated that he can't help him either in this case. So
right.
We just look like we have to go pro se because everybody's afraid of going against whoever's behind it.
Well, I have an attorney. His name is Vincent W. Davis. He's a pit bull of attorney. He's been fighting CPS for 39 years. He is licensed and trained professionally in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Not only is he attorney, he's also a trial attorney. He does trials. And Vincent is on every day in the morning at 6:30 in the morning. And he has a show. All you have to do is call 888-888-6582 and ask when Vincent Davis will be on, and then you can attend his show. And he has a number you can call in and ask questions. But he's the best. He does go out of state, and he can also talk to you about his retainer. But make sure when you talk to Vincent Davis, you say, Bob Pace sent me. It's very important that so he knows that I've talked to you. But that is one solution. Now, by you calling in tonight, to this morning, you now qualify for a free 15-minute session with Vincent Davis. It'll be a private Zoom meeting, and he will talk to you for 15 minutes. You make yourself a list of questions, and you prioritize them. Now, as far as his background, I've already told you, he also does civil lawsuits against CPS, and he's won millions of dollars. So he's not afraid, but he's a professional. And his rate is $500 an hour. And I know that when he goes out of state, there's things called per diem, which is the transportation to get there, the ground transportation to go to the hotel, to the court, and then there is the hotel and the food while he's there. Those are additional expenses that aren't if you're out here, say, in California. And I have Child, who's in my room right now, who's hired Mr. Davis. I know Crystal Reynosa has talked to Mr. Davis. And Happy Feet has too. So, when you say no one will take your case, I know he will. It's going to be the hard thing to do. I hired him. And I had to because my first year on my case, I was getting nowhere with the court-appointed or public defender. It was a waste of time. And so I looked for an attorney and I found him. And I'm glad I did because he brought back 2 of my 6 children. 3 of my children weren't involved, but there's one child, a daughter, that the social worker that I had on my case, who didn't even have a high school education, lied in court under oath. She committed what is called perjury. And Mr. Davis flushed her out. There was a case where my wife's sister and husband were trying to adopt our 12-year-old daughter. Now, our 12-year-old daughter was very naive. And Vincent started questioning the social worker. what kind of parents are this my wife's sister and husband? And the social worker said they're beautiful parents, they're great parents, be perfect to take care of their children. Well, he had a thing that he was going for. He then asked, has there ever been any domestic violence? And the social worker says, no, never been any domestic violence. Well, then he went into his briefcase, pulled out a folder, thumbed through it, and found, he had about a half an inch of reports from the local police. They were domestic violence reports. Not only were they domestic violence reports, they were physical domestic violence. That's not the environment you want to raise a child in there. So he caught the social worker in a lie, an outright lie, in front of court, in front of everybody. She was embarrassed. She left the courtroom, and then she retaliated. And how she retaliated is typical MO of social workers in the child protection system. She told her daughter, who's very naive, that you're going to emancipate from your parents. In California, the legal age is 12 to divorce your parents, your family. So she had her divorce. I'll never forget in court when they asked her, are you sure? Because you're not only divorcing your mom and dad, you're divorcing your brothers, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, cousins, all your family members. You're no longer a part of that family. And she said yes. And on top of that, the social worker told her to change her name completely. And she had a beautiful middle name, Hanalei, which is a beautiful place in Kauai. Anyway, she eliminated her middle name, eliminated the whole name. Then she sealed her birth certificate. And by her sealing the birth certificate, that means she was no longer, we were no longer her parents. She created a new birth certificate and put her adopted foster parents on there because she wanted to be adopted into foster care. She got a second Social Security card and was collecting double money from her retirement. When you're old and you have children, you get additional help from your retirement. It's your money, you earned it. It's put in there held by the government. It just that means you get more money to take care of young children because people usually at older age don't have jobs. But I have a blessing. I have children right now. Well, my child was 9 at the time. He's now 19. This has been 10 years since my case has been over about that. And so, I had, at that time, my daughter was 12 when I was in CPS. But they were double dipping, meaning they were taking twice as much money for retirement. And it wasn't going to my daughter. It was going to the foster parents. They're making a mint off me and illegally using a second Social Security card. And with her adoption by these people who are very wealthy, that's what she wanted. She was used to a wealthy lifestyle. And at that time, before I lost my job, I had a very nice lifestyle and a home. But I had to sell my home to hire Vincent Davis. I had to do what's called a quick sale, where you lose all your equity and you sell your home for about as much as you bought it for and you pay off your debts. So it's a very sad, tragic thing because it took me 45 years to buy that home. I worked 60 hours a week, 6 days a week, or 5 days a week. It was terrible. It was terrible. So I'm telling you right now that the key to success in anything you do out there is you need to get an attorney, someone that will fight for you, someone that knows the laws, because they're in what's called dependency law. That's what CPS is, family court, dependency court. And the judge, who's supposed to be a referee, some judges are bad. They are elected judges. And every 4 years we elect them. But problem, a lot of people don't put much credence into the judges. They just say, oh, we'll pick him. But my judge was terrible. He had no background in dependency law. His background was insurance claims, collision claims, car accidents. That's not family reunification or anything. And they don't believe in family reunification.
Right.
And that was further enforced by Bill Clinton in 1994 when they passed the incentive law that says child protection systems are given additional money, $10,000 to $20,000, to have foster care adopt a child instead of doing family reunification, because family reunification takes too long. It's a minimum 1 year because one of the classes that they always make you take is called domestic violence. It's a 52-week class. It takes a year. So you're going to be a minimum of 1 year with CPS. My case was 3 years. I fought them before those 3 years for 5 years on false allegations. So I know what you're going through. And I don't know what your budget is, but you know, there's two ways you can talk to Mr. Davis. Before I forget,
My goal, sorry to cut you off. My goal is to just bring this documentation that I have in front of me that stated that I could challenge this overturned case inside of civil court, because it was this one wasn't overturned. So it states that I could bring it inside civil court and sue because they didn't have no evidence. So they forced it out. I need to go inside the Supreme Court. I don't need a family lawyer for court. I need a lawsuit, to go into civil suit. I want a civil suit. That's what I'm seeking
he
for.
does civil suits, but here's the problem. A civil suit's not going to get your children back. I mean,
right, I understand that, but
is your case over?
I'm neglectful.
Yeah.
I want to get my name out.
Right.
The state registry. That's my goal. I
Right.
can do this stuff.
Right.
Live.
Yeah, I know that. But is your case over, or is it still ongoing?
My case is over.
All right.
It's done.
The person, the best candidate I have for you that could win you millions of dollars is Vincent Davis.
Okay.
He does civil lawsuit. He's a trial attorney because this will go to trial. And so he's not afraid. He's a pit bull. And so what I'm going to do is have you got my number. You're going to text me to my number, your full name, your email, and your phone number. Those three things you text me. Then what I'm going to do is turn you over to my show producer that's going to arrange a private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis for 15 minutes. You make your list of questions, prioritize them, and ask away. And and also you can call that number 888-888-6582, and you can speak to him. He's there, but also you can find out when he's on. He's on several kinds of shows. I know he has a Saturday show, and he has office hours during the week show. And so I know a lot of the people in this room here listen to him, and he has a lot to say. And it's worth your time. It doesn't hurt. Doesn't cost. Doesn't cost anything.
For a couple years now. It's been 5 years. I've been watching him, but now that my case is over, I just need to bring this festival. It wasn't overturned, and I need to go to Supreme Court in New York, Westchester County.
Right. Well, it may be a federal lawsuit. A federal lawsuit's better than state lawsuits. So it may be that. It's up to him on that.
Okay.
But I do appreciate you calling in and talking to me. And I know about I feel for your loss and so forth. Yeah. I do want to say hello to my friend from South Africa. Leica Hatzenberg has been on my show for at least a year. She's called in 3 times from country code 27, and she's in the room, and she says, "Hello, Uncle Bob. I miss you so much." The CPS are using reunification story as a cover. They don't reunite families. They destroy families. CPS work to get your 2-year mark to accomplish the gap between mother and child. And that's so true, Leica. That's so true. But Vincent is at 6:30 in the morning, a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 9:30 in the morning your time. So at 9:30 in the morning, you can hear Vincent Davis. Now, I'm talking to you and the people that are in my room at the same time. So if I switch back and forth, I don't want to confuse you, but I want to give you as much time to talk about your case. How did they approach you in the beginning? I'd like to know how CPS approached you. Was it a knock on the door, or was it with the police? How did they approach you?
No. How it came about, my son, Joseph, anyway, he went on to go see his dad for a weekend, and he's supposed to be back Monday to start. It was in the summertime to start camp, okay? So that weekend turned into 5 years, okay?
Wow.
The father went to the nearest court house in Westchester County and lied and said, that my husband was abusing his son, okay? So the same day, CPS came to the house and did an investigation and spoke to us and told us what was the allegation, what was going on. The next following week, we had court, okay? So that same week, that's when the judge ordered order protection, and continuously CPS was back and forth at the house, investigating it. But that the whole time, I have not seen my son. There was no contact. The father went to another state. He had disappeared. CPS was looking for my son because at the same time, the father was on the run. He had an open warrant for a gun charge in another state in New York. Okay, so he wasn't running from me. He was running with my son to cover up his doing with the law, with the gun charge and stuff like that. The whole time, the CPS knew that, but they were so focused on hurting me and my family and taking my child and want to put him in the system. They didn't care about the father's background, so they kept my son with the dad. The dad is on the run. The dad is hiding, and the warrant squad is looking for him. And they could still kept my son with the dad, and be back and forth at court. The father never showed up. I was there present. I did parenting classes. I did drug tests. And the judge still kept my son with the father the whole time.
Wow.
So what really opened up the case, the warrant squad finally caught my child's father, and that's when the judge had granted me temporary custody. But my son was so brainwashed and so afraid, because it's been about 3 years now, remind you, he didn't want to come with me. Okay?
Yeah.
So what I did, I had placed my son inside a mental health department, mental health hospital called Four Winds in Connecticut. Real nice, for young children. And it just didn't work out, So the court was still involved. So now I'm going against Westchester County Department of Social Services now. So the case changed. So the judge threw the father case out, okay? She threw it out. And now I'm going against, it went to side Westchester County Child Protective Services versus Tiffany, so on. So now I'm fighting them, okay? So they placed my son, took my son from out of the house that I turned him over to and put him inside a facility that they wanted to control. And I have, like I said, since then I have never seen my son. I haven't talked to him. They kept him away. They just continuously say that your mom did this, your mom did that, and he was just being brainwashed. And right now I heard that he's in Georgia. This is what I'm hearing. Without any documentation. I don't have no documentation. I don't have anything.
How old is he now? How old is your son?
He was 12.
He's 12 now?
He's 12 now. He was 8 when he left.
All right. So he was 8 when this was all going on, and now he's 12.
Right.
And is he in Georgia with a family member, or who's he with in Georgia?
I believe it's a family member on the father's side. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At least you know your son's alive. There are parents on here. The other day, a father doesn't know. He was on my show last night, Travis from Kansas City, Missouri. He doesn't know his daughter's alive or dead. And it's been 6 months. And CPS won't talk to him. You know, it's so sad what CPS does. There's no question that the child protection system, whatever the name is, does so bad with her children. You know, they're not all bad, but there's a lot of them that are bad. And I can tell you 1,500 people have said the same thing. Now, I do want to address one person on the show here. Just a moment here. I'll be right back with you. Minecraft.
Go ahead.
Minecraft has come onto the show. And she says her son is home at 19. Now, Minecraft says that her son was taken by CPS at age 5. And somehow he remembers his address, the guy's address. So he was taken at age 5. This is Utah. And so he is held by CPS until they're 18. And then it's amazing that child of Minecraft could find his way home. He was adopted by her sister and couldn't come back to Utah until I left the state. That was the agreement she had with CPS. They forced the mother to leave the state of Utah. And then I guess he was adopted by his sister. And when he became age 19, he wanted to find his real mom. And so I'm so glad. Minecraft says, my suggestion to you is to make sure your address findable in case he looks you up. Well, I don't know how addresses are findable with young children. But anyway, what more do you want to share with our audience, ma'am? What more do you want to? I'm back with you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like you were saying, the CPS, they violated my constitutional rights, to the fullest. They don't, like I said, the judge is biased. The judge is always biased against us. They always, they falsifying evidence, continuously falsifying. At one point in time, we got all the paperwork where the kid was saying he wanted to come back home, but the CPS was over. They was ignoring the whole time.
Yeah.
Like right now, the father that started this whole case against us, he's in jail now for that 2019 gun charge that he's never supposed to have been out on the street.
He's incarcerated, is what you're telling me.
Right now, he's incarcerated.
Yeah. Well, that is a good spot for him. He'll have to pay his debt to society, and hopefully he can turn himself around. But meanwhile, you need to get this straightened out. It's wrong what he did to you, your family, and your child. Now, I have a new person here called Nereo Galadino. Good morning and welcome to our family here. Nereo Galadino, are you from the United States or are you from another country? Where are you from? There. And let me see. Dorothy Cook has a question. I don't know where you're from, Dorothy Cook, but can a parent get custody of their child back after the child becomes an adult? You get guardianship. You'll never get custody. You get guardianship if there's special needs. If it's a special needs child, you should try to get guardianship because that means you can take care of them. But you do not get back custody of a child over the age of 18. Once they turn 18, they are now adult, and then you have to build a relationship all over again. But you can get guardianship if there's special needs child. Now, my beloved has been on my show a lot. May you have a beautiful day with your family, Bob. Thank you. God bless you. I thank you for those kind words. It is a sunny day in California. I'm transmitting from Surf City, USA, 3 blocks from the ocean. And this morning I was up and early at 4 a.m. at the dawn patrol, and the ocean was beautiful. The water was refreshing. That's one way I greet the world, is immerse myself in the beautiful ocean out there. And a sport I love so much is called surfing. Now, Christina's asking, are there 2 different speakers, or are they the same family from New York? This person I'm speaking to is not the same as KK Richardson or Akima Richardson. That's different. That's different, Christina. This is a person that the first time she's called in, and she is from New York City area, and she wants to do a lawsuit against CPS, a civil lawsuit. And I'm putting her in touch with Vincent Davis, who's one of the best ones that will sue. Dorothy Cook is from North Carolina. Thank you for telling me where you're from. Now, ma'am, you've been talking to me on your show. Is there anything you would recommend to my audience that you would have done differently with your case?
You're talking about us, New York? You're talking to New York?
Yeah, I'm talking. Again, what is your first name? I'm sorry, I've misplaced it. What is your first name?
His name is Tiffany, and my name is Terry.
All right, Terry. Is there anything you would recommend to my listeners that you do differently with your case in CPS? What would you do differently that would help them out? Tiffany?
What would I do different now when it first started?
Yeah, if you had to do this all over again, what would you done differently so I can help other people?
Wow.
I know it's a tough question, but I look for answers to help out other people.
Right.
And so,
I would have. For me, what I would have did differently, I would have been more.
Help you. If it was you, if it was me doing this all over again, when I first got involved with CPS, I would have sought out legal help right away. My problem is I did not know the severity of what CPS is. So I would have contacted numerous attorneys. And then as it got worse, I'd go off their advice. Secondly, I would never let them order me to come to my home and open my home up. I would never answer the door. I would never speak to them. I would say very cordially, I have an attorney, and my attorney will contact you and set up a time to meet. I would never have gone to their office. I'd only meet in public places where I can document them, like Starbucks, McDonald's, the library. That is where you want to go, as public places. Your home is not a place. They are looking for evidence. I had nothing in my home that I should never open up my home. It was never a problem with my home. And so that is what I would have done differently. I would have hired an attorney, never spoke to them, never let them in my home, and never let them take my children. They would have to use a warrant to take my children. And I would document. That's one of the weaknesses in. I would document from day one. I'd create an incident time log where I record each incident that happened, no matter how big or small. I'd put the location, the phone number on the first line, along with the date and time, the people involved. The second line, I'd do a summary of the incident. And the third line would be the results of the incident. And I put that all in a notebook and all the other documents and keep it with me at all times because the case went on for 3 years. And I couldn't remember things 2 years before that. So those are some of the things I will have done differently.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, I would have. Like you said, I would have. Yeah. Like see, I already knew about letting them in the home, and that's what they was getting mad about because we wasn't allowing them after the first indication. Like every year, they was harassing us for years, like constantly harassing us, making up different stories.
Yep.
Talking about they was getting calls.
Yep. You're right, Tiffany.
Calls.
You're right. You're right, Tiffany.
And you know, and at the same time, it was like, so because we got indicated 5 times, and we went to a master judge. They overturned them. They overturned it. And it was like they kept using the same allegations with different dates and times. So it was like I didn't know that, you know, like I'm thinking like, okay, try, like, you know, my lawyers that, like we said, we had seven different attorneys, 2 paid lawyers, and the other 5 was court appointed lawyers.
Right.
But so the attorneys that we hired, they was corrupted.
Right.
When, you know, the first time in court, they was corrupting them, and then they started charging me, talking about they was making phone calls, charging me for the phone calls, and I'm like, who's you calling? Like, I need you for court, not to make phone calls and stuff like that. So they was abusing, they was turning those attorneys against us, you know, like telling them lies or whatever they was telling them to make them, you know, to want more money, and more money, which was, you know, so I'm like, hold up, I want to go to trial, but they never took us to trial. We never had a trial. To this day, we still haven't had a trial. We supposed to have a trial April 25th of this year, which would be Friday coming up, and what is impossible because we don't even have the discovery. We don't have nothing. Like, we don't have no paperwork for us of what they was doing. We never lost. She never lost the right for our kids. We never lost the rights for our kids.
Wow, that's terrible,
you know?
Tiffany.
So, yeah, so terrible. It's like, at the end of the day, like, we was fighting. Like, we was fighting. Like, doing that old term, like, getting indicated. And they was indicating us when the kid wasn't even with us. And and we like, how you gonna indicate us? So the kid is with the father. How y'all keep indicating us every year? Every time we beat it, they indicate. Every time they overturn, they indicate us. The same allegation, the same story, but different dates and times. But the kid wasn't even in our care.
Yeah.
So we thinking, you know, like, okay, we ready to trial. Like, let's go to trial. But to this day, they won't even give us a trial. They not trying to give us no trial. No evidence of the allegations that they were saying that we did. So we feeling like, okay, by us getting those overturned, that would help us. But that it seemed like they still overlooking.
Yep. You know,
and my thing is, but my thing has been the stepfather. I raised this kid from 3 years. I've been around this kid since he was 2 years old. When the father had came home from jail, like I said, my wife said he went on a visit with his father, supposed to be for 3 days, but the whole time we didn't know he was on the run from the police. But when we found that out, my wife was going to court telling them he's on the run. They was overlooking it. How could you give a kid? Only that, the father court, he after court, my wife that came from family court, was walking down the street. This guy attacked him with a machete, got caught with it. The police locked him up. 3 days later, he get out. And guess what he did? He made a false allegation on my wife, and they locked her up.
Wow.
For 3 days. For 3 days, gave her a felony, locked her up for 3 days. She lost her job, but she beat it. So So she went to trial for the case. She beat it. Still overlooking it. So what it is to us, we feel like it was the judges being biased. The CPS, they mad. It's like every time they like I said, every time they overturned the indication, it was like they doing tick for tack, like sweeping things up under the rugs. Like they using each other to help each other, and like that's not like how you can do that. You can't even how you falsifying evidence. You're falsifying allegations. You're falsifying, but you won't come to. We ain't having a trial.
Yep. Excuse me, Terrell. Excuse me, 1 second here. My beloved says, if they are abused, can you sue them? Right. You can sue for abuse. You can sue them for violation of your civil rights and your constitutional rights, the 4th Amendment, the 14th Amendment. If they abuse your children, you can sue. You can sue, Christina. I mean, I'm not Christina, but my beloved. And you're very welcome, Christina Renoza. And bye-bye, my beloved. You're going to church and pray. So my beloved is in California, so she's going now. And can they remove a child with a warrant not signed by a judge? No, they cannot. A warrant is a very important piece of documentation. A warrant has to be signed by a wet signature by the judge in court. Further, it's got to have a hand stamp that is placed where they do a press and the pages are raised over the signature so they can't forge it. And on top of that, it's got to clearly give the date of a working date. If it shows the weekend date or a holiday week date, it's a bogus warrant. They use copies of warrants all the time. And they doctorate the warrants. You have to read it, and you've got to have explicit directions. It's got to be addressed to the party that they're coming after. It's got to list the children on the warrant. It's got to list the allegations. And then on top of that, it's got to give specific directions of what they can do, like search the house, talk to the parents, take the child. Those got to be on there. And then furthermore, they have to have the date and the time, the location where they're going to do the search or take the children. If none of that is on that warrant, that's a bogus warrant. And you should ask your attorney to look into that. So I just was answering some of the people in the room. Yes, Tina Pearson is new. She says it's a well-oiled money machine. I agree. They make millions and billions of dollars. It's $1 trillion business that CPS makes. Trillions of dollars. And it's now 9:00. My time is over. I'm sorry, but I do have to go. I'm going to go to church again. I went last night, and we go today and do a lot of praying for all of you, my family, that you get your children back. I pray for you guys. I know what you're going. And Terrell, thank you so much for calling from New York.
Thank you.
It's really, but I hope you don't forget to send me your name, full name, your email, and your phone number to that number 626-698-0990. Text me it, and then you'll have your 15 minutes with Vincent Davis. But don't forget, he's on at 6:30 in the morning. And so when you do talk to Vincent Davis, tell him that Bob Pace sent you. So I want to thank Trell from New York, Tina Pearson. I don't know where you're from. Dorothy Cook from, I think she said she was from North Carolina. My beloved's from California. Christina Renoza from California. Dorothy Cook, I think, is from Utah. My beloved is from California. Minecraft. He's from Utah. That's right. You're from Utah. Child is from LA. Thank you very, very much. And Lika Hartzenberg from South Africa. You're a wonderful woman. I miss your voice. And she's in South Africa, country code 27. And Nero Gilano, I have no idea where you're from, but thank you for joining my room. And let me see, I've already had everybody else. I'm just going through the list of people that have called in, my family members. I just want to leave anybody out of there. But I want you guys to have a beautiful, Spicy, my dog, and can't forget you, Spicy. Don't want to forget you. And Happy Feet. Happy Feet was early on in the morning. So I want you to go and use and enjoy this day to be with family, that you have family, and then pray, and you will get your children back. Please don't forget to keep fighting for your children. Don't give up. I'm on twice a day. I'm on again tonight at 7 p.m. I've been doing this now for 18 months. And so it's 14 times a week. So I'm not a stranger. If something comes up, twice a day, you can call me. You can talk to me. I'm a live person and I care. God bless you all. And this is Bob Pace. Wish you again a happy Easter and a blessed day. I'm signing off.